You know, I'm looking at everything happening, and I realized my family and I left the United States of America, Columbus, Ohio to be exact, before it got bad. But you might be leaving afterwards. You might be leaving in the midst of the chaos. You might be leaving just before the door closes, because since 2020 everything has changed, but even more so post 2023. See, we left back in 2020. We wanted to leave since 2015 but left in 2020, planned in 2019 meticulously. My husband worked two jobs at the time. I had my business at the time. And so we were relentless in our pursuit of exiting America. I mean, truly relentless. I mean, we tend to be relentless people anyway in most things that we do in life. That's just our personalities. But there is a militantness about our plans, about what we were doing, an urgency, a readiness, a calling. And all praises are due to the Most High Yah in Yahushua's name for that, because none other than him put this on our heart at that time, and we have grown exponentially. But you may be leaving when it's dang near too late. It's almost too late. When we left, we didn't think that the world would look like this. We knew it would get bad in some type of way, but we didn't really know in which way it would get bad. Like, we just thought obviously the cost of living was going to go up. We had no idea C19 would happen. We didn't know that AI would take over. Nobody could imagine that AI would become what it has become today. And I saw a video from a sister, and she is a sister, like a sister in our community, and she lives in Indiana. And she was talking about how her electricity and water bills have quadrupled because they are building new AI data centers in the area. Now, she said in Ohio, they're getting ready to build the largest AI data center that will exist on Earth. And for me, as an Ohioan that used to live in Ohio, I just praise the Most High Yah. And I say, well, thank you, Father, that we were obedient to that call to leave. Because a lot of people pretend these AI data centers don't mean much. I saw another TikTok video. You guys have probably seen it. Leave a comment down below if you have seen this video. It was a guy living out in the country. He turns his faucet on and he's mad. He's pissed off. He's very frustrated, as he should be, because when he turns on his faucet to just drink some water, get some whatever he wants to do with the water, that's his business. It's his house, his land. And yellow liquid comes out. And I'm not talking about like faint, like it's yellow, like very, very, very yellow. And he's on film with some kind of documentary or whatever. And he is talking about, hey, do you see this? Like, tell the tech bros and Elon Musk and all those people to drink this yellow water. He's like, what is happening to our lands? This is rural America, okay? And typically you would say rural America is safe. In fact, when we were still in the United States, we were thinking, should we become preppers and just be super prepared? You know, the prepper channels, the prepper people that have all the things in the States and just stay there, but they have so much stuff, they're prepared for quite literally anything. Or should we go? That was the decision we had to make. And as you can see, we chose the latter by the fact that I'm in Mauritius, Africa, have also lived in Tanzania, Africa, okay? But that's obviously the choice that we did. And I'm so glad that we did it, because America cannot be redeemed. The United States of America cannot be redeemed. Babylon, Mystery Babylon, will not be redeemed. Her sins have reached unto heaven. Why do you think she's being given over to robots to rule over? When robots need water more than humans, you are in judgment territory. You are in a new age where things aren't normal anymore. We can't categorize robots drinking all the water in Ohio and Indiana as just, this is just normal, how life evolution like this. No, that's not it. That's not normal. That's not something you should be used to. And you may say, well, they'll have AI data centers everywhere. They quite literally will not. They will have them in the most popular countries: the United States of America, UK, maybe Germany, South Africa. China's putting theirs underwater. But nations like a Madagascar, a Mauritius, a Polynesia, somewhere that people have barely heard of. I mean, even Jamaica said they're getting an AI data center, quite unfortunately. Jamaica's pretty popular, though. People know about Jamaica. Look for places that are not going to be popular. You probably need to do like Abraham did in Genesis 12 when the Most High spoke to him in a dream and said, get out your country to a land that I'm going to show you. Meaning, Abraham did not know where he was going. Like a lot of expats, we get into this like, I need to know everything. I need to know the exact ticket, the exact flight, the exact time, which mall to go to, which thing, which airport, which that. I need to know where my community is. I need to know where my new best friends are going to be. None of those things really mattered to Abraham because it was based on his obedience. It was not based on him having to know everything. He did not know everything. When Yah said, get out of your country, get up and leave, then the next phrase in the sentence is to a place I will show you. He's not even telling him the name of a country or a territory because it did not exist at that time yet. And so he's like, get out and go to the place I'm going to show you, meaning you're going to have to rely on me for faithfulness. And I'm going to be your map. You're not really even going to have a map. I'm just going to lead you and show you and guide you on your way to go. But if you worship me and trust me in the middle of it, then you are going to come into the promised land. This is the same type of thing. It's a cyclical prophecy. It's a circle that's happening again throughout the earth, and you cannot deny it just by the fact that more Americans than ever before since 1935, yes, I checked the stats, Google it, since 1935 are fleeing America. And it's not just Black Americans. It's not just Mexican Americans. It's not just Somali Americans. It's not just whoever. It's all Americans. It's Irish Americans. It's Italian Americans. It's German Americans. It's Spanish Americans. It's everybody is fleeing. Remember, this statistic is so good because it's kind of wild. That's why it's so good. And it really puts things, this is why I love statistics and data. They really put things into perspective. When people say things like, oh, Babylon's not falling, or oh, nothing's happening, or oh, nobody's leaving America. No, quite literally, more people than ever before since 1935 are leaving America. And if you go through history, 1935 was post World War One, but almost the beginning of World War II. There was a Great Depression at the time. There were a lot of things happening. And anytime you have pressure in the earth and you say, well, us Americans, we don't flee and leave. Well, they did. And many are today. Okay. Many, lots of minis of Americans are leaving America because they see the writing on the wall. Some of them don't even read the Bible, but something is urging their spirit because there's a level of grace Yah has on mankind to the point where he will still speak to you. You may not understand it's him. You may not understand that you're actually being obedient to his call. Nonetheless, he is allowing prophecy to come true. Because in the book of Second Esdras, I think it's chapter 15, he said that all nations would flee and go back to their homeland. See, America is a nation that is actually built up of either immigrants, slaves, and of course the Native Americans that were there before, but there's not a lot of them population wise anymore, obviously, because what we're not going to go through that history lesson. Y'all know Thanksgiving, okay? Y'all know the history lesson. Leave a comment down below if you want to leave the history lesson for the other people in the community. But it may just be too late. I mean, I just think back to 1935, and I imagine my grandmother was actually born in 1938. And I imagine how difficult it was, but how the people who got out, how thankful they were to be out on the other side, looking back like, oh, that Great Depression was horrible. Like, oh, the system really collapsed back then. Like, oh, that was really crazy. And every time in history, there's been a collapse of a system. It's trying to bring in something new. And I already know what the new thing is. Most everybody knows what the new thing is. It is an AI super surveillance system with digital ID, with your car turning off and telling you, hey, you look like you're too tired to drive today. Let's just turn off while you're going 50 miles an hour, because people are reporting that that is happening. It's fake food because they're saying there's not enough meat in America, so they need these 3D printers. And you just wonder what that does to the body. You just wonder. You know, I was talking to my son yesterday and I was like, you know, why do you think that in slavery, our ancestors would live to be 80, 90, sometimes over 100? But today's people, for the most part, on average, in the African American community, has an average mortality rate of around 65 years old, maybe 67. Why do you think that is? So we were talking about it, and we came to the conclusion that it just has to be the food that America has. It just has to be, because our ancestors who were enslaved had to be more stressed than us. They're quite literally getting beat, lashed, all these things, dealing with dogs chasing them, dealing with this, dealing with their kids getting rid. Like, that's a high level of stress. So the only thing that we can come to that's different, truly different in the lifestyles, even though we still go through a lot of stress in America, is the food. Like, the food enough should tell you, if I want to just live on this earth as a regular human, I'm gonna have to go somewhere like Africa, like Europe, like Asia, that still has real food. So why is it that food quality in America is not the same as anywhere else in the world? Why is it that in Spain it's illegal to have certain foods that America has, to have certain dyes in their candy, to have certain things in their chips? Why is it illegal in these places, in Ireland? These are all like, these should all be like first world countries that are counterparts to each other. Shouldn't they do the same thing? Shouldn't they just love American food? Why is that? Even out here in Mauritius, we get a lot of French stuff as well. And I tried this French butter and I felt like I had been scammed my whole life. Here's why. American butter tastes so much different than French butter. It's kind of scary. It makes you afraid, actually, because the French butter almost tastes like cheese. Like, I can literally go downstairs, get a piece of baguette, a slice of bread, and eat the butter with the bread as if the butter is cheese. Like, I'm having like a charcuterie board with cheese and bread. That's how rich and delicious the cheese or the butter tastes. It tastes like cheese. So why in America does it taste like plastic? At some point, you have to awaken to the fact that you are literally in a manufactured matrix, and you have to become relentless in your pursuit of freedom. That's the only way you get free. You don't get free by being comfortable in captivity. And the captivity that I'm talking about is a mental captivity, which is worse than physical captivity, as we can tell, because even when our ancestors were enslaved, they still had the knowledge that it wasn't right to be in captivity. They still had the ability to have health and to live long lives. They still had the tenacity, but somehow we've lost the plot totally in America. We've completely lost the plot, not just the Black community, but also every other community of Americans. I mean, go back to the guy again. He was a white American living in rural America. I forget which state. He turns on his faucet. There's yellow liquid flowing out, and he's like, "Everybody's lost the plot." Like, why is there yellow liquid in first world America? America is now a third world country. That is where I land my plane. That is what I have to say to you. Shalom, shalom. I will see you in the next video, because that I will see you in the next one, because there is so much to say on this topic, and it's just reality. At some point, you have to wake up and ask yourself the hard questions, which really shouldn't be hard. These can quite literally be life-saving questions. If you allow your pride to go away, your American patriotism, your "this is the way it should be," if you allow just a bit of humility to seep in and say, wow, this is not normal, and it's only going to get worse from here. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video. Check out the links in the description. Join members only. Share this video and be blessed, be wise, be discerning. Ask the right questions.